Welcome back. This video is about how to make or how to complete your connection section, in which you are going to jot down and explain 1 to 3 connections to yourself, to another text or movie, and or to the real world. So in other words, what these things are reminding you of as you read.
As we read books, especially in English class, like this is a language arts. So we're not just reading a flat book so it can remain flat. It needs to jump off the pages. It needs to relate to you in your life. And so if it doesn't relate to you in your life, then we have to figure out how we can, but it's not going to be memorable. If you're reading something and you can't relate it to your own personal life, it's harder to remember. It's harder to get a lesson from. And you can get lessons from anything and everything. And that's what we're doing in class, is we're trying to teach you how to do that.
And I think that it deserves to be said that also there are going to be books or things that you are going to be assigned or have to read, not just in our class. Not every book is going to be the best thing for every single person because we're all different and unique. However, like she said, you always need to try to find a way in, because that makes the process of learning much easier. So part of this is, yes, I think this is a great book, and I hope you do too. But if not, you got to figure out how to make it like a lesson for you, or how to connect. And that is what the point of connections, when you annotate, that's what the point is for, so that you start relating it to your life so that it becomes memorable.
We're all old enough now to not say, I didn't get into it, I didn't like it, and be done with it. That's childish. That's not who we are right now.
So as you can see, we're working our way down the column for these chapters. We'll do the same thing when you go to chapter 4, 5, and 6, and so forth. So we're still in chapters 1 to 3. And so the connections, I'm going to just make this that's just my own thing. The connections are in this box. So
you're going to make between 1 to 3 connections. You can either connect it to something in your own personal life. You can connect it to another text. You can connect it to, whatever it is that you're connecting. What we try to do here is we try to make an example for each one of those connections. So your connections may not be this long. However, you do want to make it involved in like a discussion that's going on. So the first connection that is made here, it says, I connect to Alfonso in chapter 2 because Medina states, glide around with my backpack on, trumpet strapped to the rack. And then the MLA in-text citation says 3. I also played the trumpet in school, and I know what it feels like to have to carry it home from school. Okay. So when I was in high school and I played the trumpet, carrying that thing home every single day was a pain in the tail. And so when he's saying he's a bike messenger, he gets paid to deliver things and he needs to go fast. And so when he said that he's got his trumpet strapped to his back, I'm like, man, I can relate to that. That's a pain.
That's why you should have probably played the flute, which is the better instrument, because like you can just like tuck that in your book bag. It doesn't really take much room. I'm just saying,
but like they give me headaches because and it's usually the flute players too. They have that high pitched voice.
What?
Yeah.
What? I feel like you just said some shots. That's okay. Do notice that she referenced, she said she connected and she referenced exactly what she connected to. You could put it in your own words and summarize it, but since she gave a quote and she put the author's name in the front, you only have to put the page number. If she had not said Medina states and she had said in the text it said, she would have to put Medina, then the 3 in the parentheses. So, we're still, that skill of textual evidence is going to keep coming up. So if you haven't gotten it by now, this is yet another chance to practice that.
Absolutely.
There's another connection that we can make as well. And so another connection I can make to this book is that the main character is killed without cause. In today's society, too many African-American young men are shot and killed without reason. So we could have gone more in depth. We could have named names, George Floyd. We focused on men, but we could have also brought up Breonna Taylor. So the more specific you are, the better and more memorable that text is going to be for you.
Right. So the first connection was a connection to a personal life, whereas this one is a connection to society as a whole. And adding more detail to those, that creates that discussion. Remember, we're annotating here. And if you are flipping pages in the book and it's something that you would write in the book and turn in your annotations or you would share, this is that connection that we have. And so this is a way for you to connect with me through that book, for you to connect with Miss Cockcroft through that language of Medina. The third and final example of a connection is this book reminds me of the book The Hate You Give by Angie Johnson. The main character Star is leaving a party with her friend and they get pulled over. And as he reaches back to grab a hairbrush, Khalil is shot by the officer. I leave it short because there's a lot of emotion and a lot of opinions and reactions that you can have after that. But that connection is clear. So I reference another text. I give the author and the title. I give what part of that text that it reminds me of. I read The Hate You Give, I think probably we read it, like a month or two after it was released. Yeah. And then when they turned it into a movie, a lot of people really started to enjoy and know it a little bit better. So with this it doesn't just remind me of The Hate You Give, because now there's a movie version. It reminds me of the book version. And so I'm as specific as I can possibly be.
And it doesn't have to be, like a text can be a movie. So for this one, it could be a movie. It could be a song. There could be a song. There could be an art piece. There's a lot of different directions that you can go with that. And we could have added more. We could really have gotten, she said that she kind of kept it short and brief, but it is an emotional pull. So you could definitely add whatever your thoughts are. That just gives us more insight into what you're thinking as you're reading.
Absolutely.
And that is it for this video. Come back to the next one. Oh, yes. Let me stop. Okay, bye-bye.